So we've spent the last three videos talking about how children develop. We've spoken about the different kinds of environments that exist within a child's development. We've spoken about how these environments interact, and we've spoken about how culture runs through all of them. Now, here's the question. If childhood is ecological, what should the intervention look like? And the answer is simple. An intervention should be ecological too. To explain what I mean by this, we're going to once again use the child who is struggling in school as an example. We've already established that we shouldn't immediately look at the child and ask what is wrong with this child. Instead, we should look into their environments and try to figure out what could be the cause. For example, instead of stopping at the school, we could explore whether the child is having difficulties learning because they've not had enough to eat, whether their caregiver is struggling financially, or even whether the child has certain developmental difficulties, and so on and so forth. Now, imagine I come into this situation and say this child is struggling in school, so therefore we're going to solve this situation by giving the child extra lessons. Extra lessons might help, but have I solved the whole problem? Probably not. Why? Because the child's difficulty might not be in one place. It might be as a result of several things happening at the same time. And this is where integrated programming becomes important. This is where it comes into play. Now, what is integrated programming? Integrated programming simply means that instead of designing one single intervention that solves one problem at a time, we think about how different needs and services can work together around the child and family. So instead of having one program for education, another one for parenting, another one for health, another one for nutrition, we ask ourselves, how do these services connect and how can I find a solution that addresses them? Because families do not experience their problems separately. They don't experience these problems differently. A mother would not wake up and say that today I am going to experience only my education problem, or today I am going to experience only my finance or health problem. No, all of these problems usually overlap. A family struggling financially may also struggle with nutrition that may then affect the child's health, then the child's attendance, then the child's learning. So our programs and solutions need to be able to see those connections. Now, does this mean that all programs need to solve everything? No. An integrated program does not mean that one organization suddenly becomes everything all at once. No. It simply means that different actors understand that they are part of the entire ecosystem. For example, a school might identify a child who needs health support. A community organization might connect that family to the appropriate services. A health worker might identify a developmental problem that requires educational support. A social protection program might reduce some of the financial problems affecting the family. And the people working with the child actually get to communicate with one another. Now, that is an integrated program. The goal is not to make one organization responsible for everything. The goal is to stop everyone from working in isolation. And one of the biggest lessons we can take from Fenbrenner's framework is to allow it help us change how we view intervention. Because if development happens across relationships, environments, institutions, culture, and time, then interventions cannot only happen at one level. Sometimes the child needs support, sometimes the family needs support, sometimes the school needs support, sometimes even the community needs support, and sometimes it is even the system that needs to change. So maybe the next time you are developing a program for a child, before you ask yourself, what program can we give this child? Take a step back and look around you. Ask yourself what is happening around this child's environment and how can we influence the systems in this environment for a positive change. Because you need to start seeing childhood as ecological and stop designing programs for children that exist in isolations. Because children do not exist in isolations, they do not. We need to start building better programs, and it could start with your next program.